coaches. Hi, welcome back. Rusty Burnside here with you once again. Today is video number 4, the final video in this video series Coaching 101 series that I wanted to send you. So really quite interesting today because it's on everybody's mind all the time. When you have as many years experience as I do in the independent world, self-improvement, coaching, business networking, people always want to know, right, what's your biggest nuggets? And I wished I could say that there's just a few things that stood way out to me that separate themselves from the pack. There could probably be about 20 nuggets, I guess, that I could really go through and share. And there was quite a few nuggets, and I've listed and broke them down today to 5, I think it is. So I have just some simple notes today that I've taken and just made up a couple of titles, really is what it comes down to. What I want to do today more than anything is I just wanted to let you share my passion. I wanted to let you know what it is that just drives me about being a coach and coaching other people just like you and helping you to learn and grow and to grow teams and maximize yourself most of all. And I hope you felt that along the journey with me as we went along. But today what I really want to talk about is a couple of things there of why I do what I do. And then I'm going to give you these 5 key points, nuggets, whatever you want to call them, right? So the first thing is, the reason that I do what I do is I love adding value to people like you. I love coaching people like you and listening to your stories and your struggles and together coming up with a solution, because I have the same struggles from day to day, from time to time with certain people. The coaching field is a funny field, right? We're in the people business at the end of the day, and it's awful tough to get other people to move and people to believe and people to buy in and people to trust you and to stay patient and, you know, who's my superstars, who's not my superstars, what do I do with talent, what do I do with no talent. There's so many things when it comes to coaching people that it's a continual process, and I enjoy that because I enjoy the process as much as I enjoy everything else about it. So that's the first component. The second component is a little bit selfish on my part, and I touched on that a little bit, but what I'm talking about is the fact that I get to learn every day. I shoot a video like this. It helps me sit down and say, man, you know what really is my top 5 things? What would I wish I would have known 14 years ago when I started this journey? What would I wish I would have known? And so I hope today to share those with you. And from that, I've learned. So it's kind of selfish on my part too, right? Because I get to learn from you and you get to learn from me. And that's why I do what I do, is I just love improving myself and growing my ability to coach others. So with that being said, today I want to share with you the 5 things that I feel might be the best things I wished I would have known 14 years ago, or that I would have kept in perspective along the journey. And they're in no particular order. So the first one is make your team so independent they don't need you. I'll repeat that. Make your team so independent they don't need you. See, we talk about managers and leaders all the time, right? And coaches is kind of becoming the bigger buzzword in corporate coaching world. It's kind of taking a little bit of traction and moving. But you're the coach of some team, somewhere, someplace, sometime. And you're also a member of some team. So you wear both hats, whether we recognize it or not, right? And if you're a member in the corporate team and coaching the corporate team, good for you. If you're a member of that team, good for you. But this is the deal. We want the team to be so good that they don't need us as coaches. Now, I know. Some of you are like, what do you mean? This is my team, and if they don't need me, then I don't have a job. Well, here's the difference between managers and leaders. I think it was Steve Jobs that said, managers get people to do things they don't want to do. Leaders get people to do things they never thought they could do. So with that being said, think about that for a moment. Managers and leaders, they're working on people too. But there's one thing that managers and leaders can't, that we'll never be able to do. All right, as a coach, there's one thing you can't do as a manager and a leader. Let's put it that way. So with that being said, what is that one thing? Leaders help people grow a lot, right? Leaders step out front. They have visions. They can make an impact. They are motivational. They can influence people. They do all the things that coaches do. And managers can do that from time to time. And so with that being said, what is it then that a coach cannot do that all the managers can and leaders can do? And what that is a coach can never put the uniform back on. I want you to think about that for a moment. It took me a long time to realize this. I thought, man, I can just call a timeout and my kids will listen, the team will listen, people get ready to go, so we'll have a business meeting, right? That's our timeout, is a business meeting. And people leave from the huddle, and what happens? Sometimes nothing. Sometimes they don't change at all, right? They're just like, they're the same person as when they come in last week, and you're like, what is going on? So the thing is, you have to be so good. You have to be so good that these guys can run without you. How do you get there? I don't have that answer. I wished I did. But the truth of the matter is, that's hard, right? That's the constant battle as a coach, even after 14 years, that I am still struggling with, is how do I get my players so independent? How do I get my team so independent that they can operate without me? So I'm a lot farther along than I was 14 years ago, because I always thought I could put the uniform back on, and walk that path. But coaches can never put the uniform back on. A leader can. A leader can go work among his people. A leader can step on the floor and be a part of the game. So can a manager. A coach is never allowed to put the uniform back on. Plus, we wouldn't want to see some coaches in a uniform, right? But anyway, so think about that for a moment. A coach is never allowed to go back in the game. So you have to be so good that your players don't need you on the floor, that they can make the right decisions. And I see coaches every time struggle with this. And I struggled with this for a long time. Well, something's not working. Let's change it up. Let's go to another process. Let's incorporate another offense and defense. That's not the answer at all. Getting the people to believe in what you have. Getting them so independent that they don't need you. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Rusty, if I'm so independent they don't need me, I don't have a job anymore. Guess what? There's teams everywhere that need great coaches. You will be an asset to anywhere you go. You will be in high demand if you can figure out how to make teams independent enough they don't need you, I promise. So don't worry about that component. Just work on that. So that's one thing I wish I would have known. Another thing I wish I would have known is coach from where they are, not where you are. This was hard, right? I had a lot of years of experience, and the smarter I get, I had a lot of years of playing when I first started coaching. Obviously, I was in sports coaching, had a lot of years of playing, and so I had a lot of knowledge. And I don't remember what it was like the first day to learn how to dribble a basketball. I don't know. It was just natural to me. So I talked like that, right? I treated them like that. Like, what do you mean you don't know how to dribble a basketball? And they're like, well, it's the first time I've ever seen one, coach. And you're like, well, so what? It's not that hard. Just push down, dribble up, switch it over, go between the legs, behind the back. And we do that as corporate coaches, right? Well, it's not that difficult. All you got to do is go here and push this and go do this and go here. It's not difficult to you, but it's difficult to them. And if you see difficulty within your team, go to where they are. Find out what's going wrong and why it's so tough for them, and help them figure it out, and then bring them up to where you are. But most of us want to coach from where we are, and we forget to go there. And what happens is they get frustrated, and it actually drives them the opposite direction. So one of the things I wish I would have known earlier is coach from where they are. And that takes a skill set to figure out where they are. But that's another video another time. Just wanted to give you that. So the next thing on my list is trophies are only celebrated once. So what does that mean? Well, the truth is, there's a journey to get to that trophy. And if your journey is so dependent upon whether or not you finally get the championship trophy, it might be called money in business. It might be called X amount of gadgets out the door. It might be whatever, right? If all of your success is dependent upon the P&L sheet, then we might be in trouble because we're not enjoying the journey. And this is what I found out. And you're like, well, we have to make profit. You're right. You have to make profit. Just like teams really kind of need to win too, right? They talk about that. It builds morale and people fight and we build traditions and all those things. I get that and understand that. But this is also what I understand. If we are always focused on the things that we're not winning at, if we only gauge our success when we finally hit the championship trophy, we're going to be losers a lot. And that's a tough way to go. So what I've learned to do is celebrate all the wins and enjoy the journey. And once I learned to enjoy the journey, I've enjoyed coaching so much more, because I can tell you, I have had years with a great record and they weren't that fun. And I've had years with a not so great record and they were the funnest years of my life. So it's kind of funny because I enjoyed the journey. Now I understand in the business world we have to make profits or else we're out of business. I get that. But if you learn to enjoy the journey, get your team involved and they enjoy the journey and they get excited about the journey, the wins come a lot easier. So quit focusing on the biggest thing out here, the wins in the loss column. Focus on your people and how you can make the journey enjoyable, and you'll be amazed at what happens as an end result. Because championship trophies are only celebrated one time, if you get one, and then we kind of forget about them and put them on the shelf and go back to the journey or through the process, right? So that there was kind of an eye-opener for me. The next thing on my list, you guys okay with me so far? I hope you're doing good, all right? We're going through this, enjoying it. I hope you're taking some great notes. I'm not going to put up any cool notes or anything on this video. I just wanted this to be a conversation between you and I that I would have had if I was to meet you anywhere. So I hope you're enjoying it. The fourth thing on this list is coaching is more about mastering. Coaching is more about listening rather than correcting. Sorry, I can't even read my own handwriting. So here we go. Coaching is more about listening rather than correcting. Whoa. That was new to me. I thought coaching was all about helping them fix their problems. Not truth at all. The truth is coaching was more about listening so you could understand what they thought the problem was, help them walk through the problem, and then let them create their own solution. And once they create their own solution, what I figured out about people, they're just like me. The best ideas come from them. Does that make sense? The best ideas you ever had or heard came from you. So that's coaching, is listening. You have to get to where they are, understand what's going on in their world, what their struggles are. Just because their game's off, you might want to go work on their shot, right? You think, oh, their game's way off. I'm going to work on their shot today. Well, problem is not going to be shot. They might have a problem at home. Maybe they haven't had a meal in 3 days. Maybe they don't have enough money to buy tennis shoes to play the game. We missed completely what they needed help coaching with. That's big. And if we don't understand each individual on our team, we're not going to know which levers to pull. We're not going to know what it's like to be in their world. We're not going to know how to motivate them and what motivates them, what makes them smile, what makes them dream, what makes them happy, what makes them cry. And if you don't know that about the people on your team, you would better schedule time to go start listening to them and see what's going on so that you can move them rather than correcting them. They don't need you correcting them sometimes. Sometimes they just need somebody to listen and encourage them. And to me, I thought everybody was like I was. I thought they showed up, wanted to work hard, put in the extra effort, and they had that same mentality. Wasn't true at all. I had to listen to each individual, and then I had to kind of adjust my tools and my ways to help that individual become the best that they can. Easy? Not necessarily easy. Doable? Absolutely. And just takes a little more time and effort, right? So the last thing that I want to share with you today is, I thought when I first started coaching, everything was about skills and drills and X's and O's. And you're sitting there thinking, well, what does that have to do with me? Well, this is what it has to do with you. We call them processes and procedures in the business world. And we think everything has to do with processes and procedures, and the reason things aren't working is because our processes and our procedures aren't right. I know I've mentioned this before and you've heard me say it before. Coach, what's the best offense that you can run? And I've always said, the one your people believe in. The best defense you can run is the one your people believe in. And the truth goes, it doesn't matter what you run if your people don't believe in it either. So if they believe in it, it doesn't matter what you run. If they don't believe in it, it also doesn't matter what you run. So you can fix your processes and your procedures and you can talk about them all day long. You can have meeting after meeting after meeting, and you can be talking about the same thing for 6 months. And you're wondering, why isn't things changing? Because it's not all about the X's and O's and the skills and the drills. It's actually more about the other side of the coin. How do I get my people to believe in me? How do I get my people to see the vision? How do I build a common goal with my people? How do I get my team to get excited about what it is that we're going to run and we're going to operate through? So anyway, those are the things. I'm just going to recapture real quick. Make your team so independent they don't need you. Second thing I talked about is coach from where they are, not where you are. The third thing I talked about is trophies are only celebrated once, so enjoy the journey more so than the wins. The next thing is coaching is more about listening rather than correcting. So there you go. They can solve their own problems if we'll listen and help them. And then the last one is it's not all about the X's and O's and the skills and the drills. It's actually more about the other side of that coin. So hopefully today, this last video, this has been great for you. It's been great for me. It helped me really kind of get back down and narrow back down to what it is that I need to coach on. Because believe me, I get way scattered out. If you know me, understand that that happens. But nonetheless, I want you to know we have the same dreams and the same desires. We share a lot of the same passions. We share a lot of the same struggles. And I too enjoy this journey. So hopefully you'll enjoy this journey with me as well. And I promise you that if you become a part of the Legacy team and look into what it is that GMCA has to offer in the Gold Medal Coaching Academy and where we're headed, the Gold Medal Coaching Formula, I know for a fact that I can help you as well as your team get to the next level. So you can count on me sending you some more information on what there is available. I appreciate you being with me at these 4 videos. I hope you got some great content out of it. And I hope you're able to move the needle and progress yourself as well as your team. So until we meet again, as always, remember, we're here to master ourselves, maximize others, and build standout teams.